Now, let's move on to the next story that happened around the same time. This is about Nikki. Nikki was a hard-working rookie sales guy, full of energy and a conspicuous member of our team. But in spite of working hard, he was not able to clock the numbers. While other team members were reaching the targets or getting close enough, Nikki was falling short, so I decided to help him. The best way to do this is make a supervisory call to the person. So I sat with Nikki and did a homework. Lesson number 1, no sales call is to be ever made without doing one's homework. I asked Nikki for his plans. The plan was to visit the prestigious Indian Institute of Technology and demonstrate the new distribution box and book a sample order. Nikki regularly visited IIT, but unfortunately, the client was hooked onto a competitor. Nikki said the competitor rarely visited IIT. That was some good news. Lesson number 2, competitor information on not visiting the client. I asked Nikki about the USPs, that is, the unique selling propositions he intends to employ. Nikki immediately reeled out all the 6 USPs he knew about the product. Learning lesson number 3, employ just 2 USPs or at best 3, else the client loses focus. So we prioritized on the 2 USPs and decided the third will be employed only if the first 2 does not create the desired impression. Just before calling on the client, I wanted Nikki to shed his inhibitions. I told Nikki, my intent is to help. First thing is to forget that I'm with you. Second, you're gonna be your natural self and you'll handle the customer and we'll see how it goes. If and when required, I'll join in. One problem with Nikki was he was talkative. He felt, as a sales guy, it is his prerogative to talk. I cautioned him earlier on this. When a person has a tendency to talk too much, they never listen and miss out on opportunities. Lesson number 4, and this is a big lesson for all salespeople. Good communication is more about listening and responding. Good salespeople induce the customer to talk by asking few searching questions. Once the client talks, he comes out with his needs and priorities. Based on that, the salesperson can make his pitch. At IIT, we met the manager utilities who makes the buying decision. When Nikki greeted him, he seemed to recognize Nikki well enough. That was a good sign to begin with. After exchanging pleasantries, Nikki got on the subject. He had the distribution ready for demo. He opened the covers and, as we had planned, demonstrated the first USP, self-aligning covers. This straightaway caught the client's interest. He immediately called his assistant and they both tried this outfit. They were highly impressed. Nikki was getting on to the next USP when I signaled Nikki to stop. I stepped in and asked the client if they had any problems with the existing arrangement of the competitor. He said yes. He had serious problems as the doors remained open, causing ingress of moisture. They even had a flashover in one of the buildings. The first USP itself had made enough impression, and I motioned Nikki to ask for the sample order. You could say the visit was working like clockwork procession. In less than 5 minutes, we were about to book a breakthrough order. The manager said they required 10 distribution boards, but he'll order sample and after using for a month, we'll order the balance. Nikki's joy knew no bounds. After nearly a year, he was about to get an order. But, tragedy struck. What happened next? I'll never ever forget it. Never. As I said, Nikki had this habit of being talkative. He made a bizarre statement. And this happens with talkative people. They just shoot off their mouths. Nikki mentioned that a competitor had just introduced this very feature. It was like snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. I spent enough time mentoring Nikki. I cautioned him to cut down on his clatter. At times, I'd even warned him that if he continued with this habit, he'll have to say goodbye to a sales career. Nikki started off showing improvement. Within a year, he'd matured into a better salesperson. He learned the art of listening and getting the prospects to open out. He stayed with us for 7 more years and was a manager when he left us. So I'd say Nicky started as a poor salesperson, but with proper mentoring and training turned out to be a top-class performer. He was now confidence personified. Last heard, he was heading a sub-business unit of a well-known multinational. After every sales call, it's customary for good sales folks to analyze the call. Just make a short once-over as to how the call went. However good and experienced a salesperson, we all tend to commit a mistake or two during the course of the day. So every experience becomes a learning experience. If you view a website, salesstartup.in, salesstartup.in, we have displayed 30 mistakes salespeople tend to commit. There's really nothing like a copybook sales effort. But do not despair. That's the beauty about the sales job. You're always learning. After all, it's a human endeavor. And as the saying goes, in every human endeavor, there's scope for improvement. Even companies making billions of dollars are always evolving and finding out a better way to sell and increase realization.
To improve your sales,
subscribe our YouTube channel R4 Consulting, your consulting partner. Visit our website www.r4consultingindia.com.